There we go. Okay. So we're going to try this again without the feedback. I'm Liz, Blue Star Family Solutions Manager, and welcome to Networks Live on Demand. Tonight, I have a phenomenal guest with us. Her name is Moni Jefferson. She's a self-made businesswoman, a mom, a PR professional, and of course, a military spouse. And Moni is going to tell us all about how to sell ourselves as a military spouse entrepreneur. We're going to hold all of our questions until the end. So if you're joining us via the Facebook Live feed, please go ahead and you can put any of your questions in the comments below. If you're joining us on our Zoom feature, you are more than welcome to use either the chat feature on the side, or you can use the question and answer box. And with that, let's dig in. Thank you, Moni, for being here.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm really excited to just be here and share some really great information that has helped me in my career as a military spouse. I am definitely going to be jumping into a screen share in just a minute, but I want to take a minute just to tell you guys a little bit about who I am and why I'm here. So, like Liz said, I'm a military spouse. My spouse is Air Force, active duty, and we've been in for 16 years. And in those 16 years, I've been a stay-at-home mom until about 5 years ago. And then I realized that my little baby was going to be going to school. And what was I going to do with all my time? You know, my season was coming to an end as a stay-at-home mom. So I started to explore different ways to start working outside of the home and use a lot of my skill set that I had learned in college and volunteering and, you know, starting groups everywhere we moved. And that's when I started my own business. So I'm really excited to just share with you guys a lot of information that I've learned along the way. Just gonna jump in. Make sure that you ask any questions on the side. I'm open to it all, so go ahead and ask it, and we will answer them at the end, right, Liz? All right, let's see. So I'm going to share my screen now. All right, you guys let me know if you see my screen, if we're good to go. Are we good? Can you guys see my screen?
That is perfect.
Perfect. Today we're going to talk about marketing yourself as a military spouse entrepreneur. A little bit more about me, just to give you guys a little bit more context of why I'm going to be talking about some of the specific topics we're talking about today's stuff. Is because I am the founder of the MilSpouse Creative, which is an online virtual networking community for military spouse entrepreneurs around the globe. And I'm also the creator of 2 military lifestyle apps called MilCam and MilEmoji. I'm also launching another app this coming fall, and I'm really excited to just showcase a lot of the brand awareness that I've created in the last year by implementing some of these strategies. So our overview for today is I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about growing your platform, revenue strategy, and brand evangelism. And I'm really excited to talk about some of these topics. I feel like a lot of times as a military spouse, we forget that we still have to run our business as a business versus we're in such a small space, and we forget that we have to apply all of these strategies to our own business as an entrepreneur as well, just like everybody else. And I found myself last year in 2017 realizing that, and that's why I thought of, wow, we really have to market ourselves like everybody else. And so a lot of these, like growing your platform, revenue strategy, and brand evangelism, that's what I used last year. So I'm going to go right into grow your platform. And you guys know that it's super beneficial to grow your platform. I cannot preach this enough. If you are selling a product or a service, especially as an entrepreneur, you have to grow your platform online and on your website. You have to reach and create brand awareness. A lot of times we forget and we get so wrapped up in, oh my gosh, we're so excited about the product that we have, and we're working behind the scenes, that also implementing some of those some of those techniques into growing your platform and reaching brand awareness is invaluable. A lot of people will say, oh, she's a military spouse, but what is she doing? Everybody in our space is doing so many different things, but remember that you can also reach people outside the base or in this specific niche. So reach and brand awareness are super valuable. And the way you're going to do that is by social proofing everything you're doing. The more eyes plus more inquiries equal more opportunities. So social proofing is subconsciously credibility for your brand. So by constantly putting information out there about what you're doing, your product or your service, means that people get to know a lot about your brand and will subconsciously start thinking about you when things in that area come up, and they'll start to see you as an expert in your area. The next one is sponsors and partnerships. And I actually just held a workshop about this a couple days ago. And with this, it's so invaluable to really build partnerships. Partnerships can lead to more financial, sponsorships or paid opportunities as well as referrals. Sponsors really can help you grow your brand in ways that you never saw possible. So what happens when you do have a sponsor or partnerships? They share your product or your service and things that you're doing with them in front of their audience. And so what happens with that is that you get to see you get to put your brand in front of a whole nother audience and bring them in to reach brand awareness on your end. And the other thing is to, keep up the momentum. A lot of times social media can seem super overwhelming. I am one of those people. I have several social media accounts, and I will say from time to time, it does get overwhelming and we get inundated with a lot of sales on there. But the thing is, you have to keep the momentum going. So coming up with a really great content calendar and using different platforms like Buffer, SmarterQ, Plan Only, that will help you stay consistent and know exactly when's a good time to put out your social media posts and what your audience is responding to is invaluable. Personally, I use SmarterQ. It has a lot of really great evergreen functions on there, and Plan Only for my Instagram. This other thing you have to keep aware or be mindful of in social proofing is to make sure that you are really concentrating on the brands or the platforms that your audience is on. So with social media, if you are not getting any engagement on Twitter or on Pinterest, really, really focus on the platform that you are doing well on. My go-tos are Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. That's where my audience is. It's okay not to be on every single social media platform. I want to go back really quick to grow your platform and give you guys a few more pointers. When you are creating the social media and the content, you want to be super aware of, what times you're posting, what your taglines are saying, and make sure that you do a little research on the hashtags, because you want to make sure that you're getting in front of those that are hashtagging and using the same verbiage that you are. Another really great way to make sure that you are using the right hashtags is to use displaypurposes.com. They will tell you in your area, you'll put in all your information, and it'll tell you in your area exactly what hashtags are trending at the moment. So make sure that you look for similarities in high-performing content. Optimize to post at ideal times of day, and track alignment between insights and idea client profiles. Make sure to create a content calendar and write engaging captions that grab attention on the first 2 lines. Build a list of hashtags for different types of content, like I just shared with you. Conversions, revenue strategy, or content is key. Sorry about that. So the one thing I want to bring up here under content is key is do your research. You know, it's so invaluable to find out what your audience is responding to. Like we said, make sure that you have your hashtags and that you're grabbing sentences, ideal times on brand image that reference blog posts with links in the bio. So the key to content is to make sure that you're just not putting things out there to fill the space, right? So you want to make sure that you're drawing them to an action. So when you post, you're drawing them to either go to your website, schedule an appointment, download an opt-in, join in some way to join your email list, something in that reference so that they can become a client or a long-term audience member. The third one is revenue strategy. So, and this one is really one of my favorite to talk about. 45% of self-made millionaires have 4 streams of income. When one income stream suffers, the other makes up for it. And I cannot stress this enough. When I first started my business, I just thought that having my one consulting portion of my business was everything. But when, like it says, when one stream suffers, something else can make up for it. And so creating different forms of different streams of revenue is key. So the first one I'm going to share with you is affiliate marketing. And I love to use this because it's basically signing up for something, talking about something that you love, and people go and use the same product and you get paid an affiliate fee. What I use for my business is ConvertKit and Amazon Association. There are an array of different affiliate incomes if you're into products, you know, household products or clothing, bathing suits, car products, baby products, any of those you can look into if they have an affiliate link, and you can use it in your business by talking about it in the content above and then calling them to action to using that product or service. The next one is sponsorship. Influencer agencies and brand partnerships are ideal here. Most of the time, when we think of sponsorships, we're thinking of just something that we will share, like a sponsored post. But there are so many other sponsorship opportunities out there. If you do speaking events or any kind of influencer agencies that you can, you know, bring your brand to them and they can connect you with a brand that's a good fit, and you can start to produce revenue stream from the sponsorships in that way. Also, brand partnerships are fabulous. Those are really great because usually you're using a product or a service that you're in love with, and you can talk about it and then bring your ideal audience to purchasing the same product. The next one is education. Mentoring. You could, you know, mentor other spouses or other brands that want to do the things that you're doing. Having masterminds or online courses. And the fourth one is digital products. And these are some of my favorite, and I am actually in the process of building this up on my website. You could do stock photos or pre-made graphics that have to do with your brand that you can sell. You can also create templates that you can sell that have to do with your business. For example, for my brand, I have a PR strategy that you can download and do it yourself. I am also creating some other templates. You could do an email sequence template. You could do, I think some people have like an email sequence template, and then they have like a auto response template. So there's so many different things that you can do to build that revenue stream and sell additional like workbooks, e-courses, all those types of things are ideal in digital products. The next one is brand evangelism. And this one is one of the newest ones that I've started implementing into my business, and I encourage all of you to do it as well. It is absolutely free. A true fan is someone who wants to talk about and share your message and get involved in any way they can. And that is basically what brand evangelism is. The tools, you will equip your community with tools they need to be true brand evangelists, provide impact messaging, and think about how to solve their pain points in the process. You build trust. The depth of the audience affinity is everything. Move your followers up the curve of commitment through providing valuable content, consistency, and frequency to stay on top of their mind. And so the way I like to talk about this a little bit is there's a curve of commitment that includes brand discovery, then social media, then they become an email subscriber, then they become a customer, and then they become a brand evangelist. Intention, if you're intentionally focused on serving them rather than leveraging them as purchasing something from you in the beginning, by providing free resources and valuable content, it's the true way to go. It builds true brand loyalty, the kind that catapults you towards comes from building genuine relationships with your audience. So if you think of this as a slope, the curve of commitment starts from at the bottom and it builds all the way up, and it builds all the way up. So you would want to bring them in. They'll discover your brand. They're attracted to it in some way. Then they will follow you on social media. From social media, you'll give them some really key content, and then they'll go to your website and download your form and become an email subscriber. After that, you're going to nurture them with your email sequence, and they'll become a customer. And then after that, once they love your product or service, they'll become a brand evangelist. So if you want to talk about overall, when you are marketing yourself as a military spouse, it is invaluable to really understand and take away that you have to still run your business just like everybody else. A lot of times, I know that for me, just speaking from personal experience and starting my business in a niche community, I didn't see it in that way. But it is invaluable to add the marketing and platform growth, because you do need that to grow your business, even if it's in a smaller space. You do need revenue and a revenue strategy, because you have to know what you're going to do to have revenue stream and other ways, and experience other ways, and experiment with other ways to build different streams of revenue. And the brand evangelism is something that comes along with the entire process. A lot of times we go to straight for paying for products or for advertising. And the goal here is to not have to pay for a lot of advertising and to really grow your brand in such a small niche community in a way that really builds true brand evangelists without having to pay for advertising, and that really brings a lot of engagement, people to believe in your brand. I'm going to take this screen off. I don't know if I did it. Can you see me? I don't know if I'm here. So yeah, I'm really excited about sharing some of this stuff with you guys. I know that for me, like I said, just building and really getting to learn a lot of this as an entrepreneur was very new to me in the beginning. I know that when I first started, I just thought I had to write on my blog. And I thought that was it. And you don't. You really have to implement a lot of these other strategies. And after experimenting with different brands and learning how to do this whole entrepreneur thing is where I started implementing some of this. And now things are going great. But it's taken such a long time to learn it. Let me see. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, I heard like a big loud noise on my end. Maybe it's my microphone. So I know that was a lot of information, and if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to kind of chat with you on that and really share some information with you guys.
Awesome. Well, I do have some questions that came in. One of them is, what would be your number one tip or advice, in your opinion, that for military spouses that are entrepreneurs?
Oh gosh, my number one tip would be to focus on what you're doing, right? I think we get so sidetracked with what other people are doing and also the comparison, especially in such a small entrepreneur space. Focus on what you're doing and what you're really good at, and know that you're not going to be good at everything. And that's okay. And it's okay to make mistakes, to give yourself grace, because you are learning how to be the best entrepreneur you can be. I
Yeah,
just
that mistakes thing is huge.
Yeah, because I used to be so hard on myself, and then I just realized I'm a human and I'm learning how to do all this, so it's
Mhm.
okay.
Yes. Another question is the hashtags. How do those work?
Oh gosh, let me pull my screen up. So the hashtags are, gosh, hashtags especially are used mostly on Instagram and Twitter. I have more experience with them on Instagram because that's the platform that I gravitate towards, and that's where my ideal audience is. The hashtags are used in ways to consistently have your information come up in that feed. So let's see, for example, military spouse entrepreneur. So that's a really popular hashtag in the community that I'm in, because a lot of my ideal clients are looking for information on military spouse entrepreneurs. So if you're on Instagram, on the top, I don't know if it's on the top, let's see. So if you go to search on Instagram, you can put in, it'll tell you all the trending hashtags in your area. So it's a really great way to get your visibility and to get your feed seen by somebody who may want to follow you or purchase your product or service. And then displaypurposes.com. I'm going to type it here because it's really good. Display. I think it's purposes.com. They actually, when you put in your information, it'll tell you the trending hashtag in your area, which is really, really cool. And then another quick tip I want to offer on the hashtags is, when you post your post in Instagram, do an overt hashtag. So for the MilSpouse Creative, that's my overt hashtag, is MilSpouse Creative. So that once people start trending with MilSpouse Creative, they will continue to use that hashtag. And then underneath is the covert hashtags, which are, community over competition, military spouse, entrepreneur, women with ambition, things that are trending that you can use, use the ... and then use the hashtag at the bottom.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any questions for Moni?
Yeah, I'd really love to hear what you guys have to say. So I have a question. Have you guys heard of brand evangelism before today?
Well, I personally have not, but I'll wait and see what the chat feature says, if anyone says anything. Nope. I've got one. Nope. Two. I think that's a brand new concept brought to us.
Yeah, so I actually came across this a few months ago, and I was really impressed with it. Then I realized that I had been doing it, and a lot of us are doing this. So instead of paying for the advertising, really feed into those that already believe in your brand. It's just a really great way to get people to share what you're doing and refer your product or service, because they already love what you're doing. So it's you don't have to pay for it, and you build on that. I mean, really, I had a friend tell me one day, all you need is 100 raving fans, and you're gonna do it, because those people will tell other people will tell other people. So it's just a really great way, especially if you're just building your brand as an entrepreneur in such a niche space, to start using that in the beginning. And that's ideal, and that's what I do.
Awesome. Well, I don't see any more questions popping up here. I have a question for you. How can people get a hold of you?
Sure. Oh, yeah, perfect. Just thought about that. So, yeah, you can find me on MoniJeffersonPR.com, and you can find the MilSpouse Creative at MoniJeffersonPR.com/MilSpouse Creative. And I always do consultations. If you want to do a 30-minute or a 15-minute consultation, I'm happy to hop on the call. And you can find me on social media at Moni Jefferson PR. So I'm pretty much everywhere.
Awesome, thank you. If there are no more questions, we can wrap it up. Do you have anything else?
No, I just want to encourage everybody to, try to implement some of those strategies. I'm happy to share the slideshow as well if anybody's interested in just kind of having that on hand. I know when I go to a webinar, I always want to have the slideshow because I'm taking it all in and then trying to type notes at the same time.
Yes, please. I've got a yes, please over here. So if you would like to reach out to me at LizLJones@bluestarfam.org, and it will also be in the comments of this recording, I can get you that slideshow. How's that sound? All right. Well, thank you so much, Moni. It was a pleasure having you here, and I actually learned a ton. And I'm not even an entrepreneur.
Really?
I'm like, brand
Well, good.
Wow.
Yeah, brand evangelism, the marketing strategies. Sometimes we just don't think of them. We just think to like I said in the beginning. I just was like, I'm just going to write blogs, and that'll get me traffic. And that's really not what it's all about. It's a whole big picture. Awesome. So I appreciate you having me.
Thank you. Well, that's it. And if no one has any more questions, have a good night, everyone.
Bye. See you guys later.